All right, guys, now we're going to put the stem on this bike to put the handlebars on it. And this comes out. This comes off the stem. So I have a few of these bikes that have the double and some that have the 4 up front. Double's easier because it's just 2 bolts, but I don't know that I have a preference as to which one I prefer or not. So one of the important things is to make sure that we get even pressure on the front and the back of these 2 bolts. And we want to start it before we actually try to screw it in with a hex. Now I'm going to take these off the handlebars. And these are not hydraulic brakes, so I don't have to worry about squeezing them. So I'm going to try to set this up kind of where I like it, which I think is about right there. This is just temporary, and we will make this adjustment after we get the entire bike put together and we set it up for me. Now see, I think I got the back too tight and the front too loose because I don't want this big gap here. I want the gap to be even front and back. That feels more better because I can feel it on both ends. All right, there we have it. Now we'll slide this back forward. And there we have it. We're set up here, guys. That's real easy. This was real easy to do. Now, okay, that's done. All right, now I'm going to put the wheel on. So I need to take this this crossover, which basically holds the forks in place so they don't get bent in shipping. That's mostly what it's for. Some people use it and put a plastic stand down there for shipping as well. They'll use that on a plastic stand. The way Engwe has their box design, really didn't need it. And I think it's because they show you real quickly, back here, they use the rack to hold that into place. Pretty smart, actually. Saves them a little bit of change on this, whether it's $1 or $2, it saves them some money in shipping. Very wise. Okay, so now we're going to take that off. All right, so I took the bolt off of each side of the wheel, and they use these safety catches, these safety washers, to keep the wheels from falling off. If the bolt comes loose a little bit, these hold the wheel in place, so if you went over a bump, it wouldn't accidentally just fall out of the dropout. Then we're just going to lift the bike up like we had. I'm going to slide it up under the dropout. I'm just going to set it on the dropout. That's perfect. Then we'll do the same to this side. Let's see if I can show you this side as we do it. So we'll put the spacer on. That notch will go right into the hole. That way if the nut comes loose, it won't fall out. Now if the nut came all the way off, that'll fall out too, but gives you a little bit of security there. Okay, so now that's tight by hand, and this is tight by hand. So now we just need to tighten that up. All right, so now the tire's on. Now we need to put the front light and the front fender on. Now don't panic if you don't see a bolt here. I'm assuming it's on the light. Not all manufacturers package these the same way. I haven't seen this, but I'm assuming it's here. All right, there it is. So we'll unscrew the bolt. This is a nylon nut. Doesn't need to have any Loctite or anything on it. This nylon inside this nut to hold it into a metric 10 to hold it into place, and then you'll use a 5. But I still got to get up and get a 10 millimeter metric wrench for this. Okay, so take your 10 millimeter. Place it on the bolt. Take your 5 hex or Allen. Now I can straighten the light up, pull it into place, at least where I think it's going to go. And now I can tighten this bolt all the way in. All right, that one's done. Now all I got to do is tighten the stays right on each side. I really like the badging. I love when they put their name on it. I know a lot of people don't think it's cool to have the badging all on it, but if you don't like the badging, you can just take it off. They don't give you extra badging because, you know, you like it. If you don't have it, you don't have it. So if you have it and you want to take it off, you know, go ahead and take it off. But me personally, I love the badging. I like people to know the bike I'm riding, especially when I like them. All right, so the seat's on. Everything else is on. Now we're going to take this. Well, let's put the pedals on first. All right, guys. There's a left and right pedal. There's an L on this one and an R on this one. On the right one, you put it on like a clock runs, clockwise. Okay, now we'll go to the other side and do the other side. All right, the pedals are on. All right, guys, on this bike, one of the last things to do is take this rack and put it on. Okay, now we're going to put this rack right up on it. And just let it rest here until I get 2 bolts in. First 2 bolts are going to be the top 2. And this is the last thing, then we can charge the battery and take it for a ride, guys. All right, guys, the bike is together. All right, let's charge it up. All right, guys, we got the Engwe EP2 Pro. This kind of a little bit of a famous bike right now. I think this bike is it's been out there a little while, but well, the EP2 has been out there, but now the EP2 Pro is out there, and along with several new Engwe products. This is my first Engwe product. They kind of said, well, take the EP2 Pro or the Engine Pro, and I guess the Engine Pro was short ordered, so they said, do you want the EP2 Pro? I said, absolutely. Beautiful looking bike. One thing I want to note is when you first get this bike, at least for me, the black is beautiful. The Engwe looks really good. I wasn't I don't know about a fan of the decoration, but in person, the decoration, pretty cool looking. I like that they put Engwe on the front fork. I like that they have Engwe on the Engwe dash bikes on the back. Wheel support, just as a nice looking bike, guys. You can tell I haven't rode it yet, but I haven't taken the sticker off. I just assembled it, and we had some problems in the house with some other things going on. But we're about to rain in the next 2 hours, and then it's going to rain for a long time. I think till next Wednesday. And I'd like to get this out on Thursday, so I'm going to make sure that I get a ride on this bike before the rain comes in. Otherwise, you know, it may be put out another week, and I don't want to do that. But it's a beautiful looking bike. 13 amp battery, 750 watts at the back end, a total peak watt of 960. This bike does about 26 miles an hour. It has the mag wheels. I think the rotors and are 160 millimeter rotors. That's what they look like to me. Fallel brakes. I've had these brakes on several other bikes. I don't mind them at all. I think they're okay brakes. Maybe not the best in the world, but certainly not the worst in the world. And they'll brake this bike just fine. Had it on several bikes actually. I think 3 or 4 different bikes. The Fallel brakes are fine. It has a back tail light and a back brake. It's a 7-speed SIS shifter as usual, and this is a tourney derailleur with the derailleur guard. Nice looking derailleur guard. Does have front and outer guards for the chainstay. I believe this is plastic, but that's okay. As long as it does what it's supposed to do, that's fine. The fenders are metal, and this bike went together pretty good. The funny thing about this bike, it came in a shorter box, so I was like, wow, that's kind of weird, but it's the same size, so it came in a shorter box. The box was packed really good, actually. They boxed it, of course, with the rack on the back underneath the tire, and that acted as a support. Didn't hurt anything, nothing looks bad, nothing scratched, just a beautiful bike. Chow Yang tires on it. Front headlights, pretty. Only thing I think I might have not done wrong, but could have done better for me, is I should have put this wire through to the inside. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of zip ties and zip tie it here, or at least one. Let's do that. About like so for now. I may change it up, but at least for this ride, that'll be fine. And let's get a ride on this thing. Let's see how it goes. I haven't gone in and changed anything on the display, but this bike requires 20 psi of pressure in the tires, and that's it. So let's take it for a ride. Another couple of things. Handles are rubberized, very nice. The twist throttle's rubberized. It is a twist throttle on the right hand side. Here's your controls. I would say the worst thing about the bike, if I'm going to point out one negative, now some people will call the mechanical brakes a negative. I don't necessarily call them a negative if they're decent mechanical brakes. All it requires is a little bit more hand strength to stop the bike. The last 2 bikes I reviewed were great. The first few bikes I reviewed, not so good. Anyway, is the bell. Look at this. The bell's pretty light. So yeah, you can, oh, I guess you turn it off that way, so now it doesn't make noise. Then you turn it on that way. Hey, that's a little interesting. Or it's broke, one of the two. But anyway, it has a bell, not much of a bell. That would be the only negative thing so far. I haven't taken the sticker off the SIS shifter yet, but let's go for a ride now. And let's test some things out. Okay, so it definitely, I can tell you, I need to have the seat higher. And let's go at 0. There is no power to anything. No power to anything. Then at PAS1, pedaling, I have about 6 miles an hour. PAS2, I have about 9.5. PAS3, oh, she got some energy there, guys. You can definitely feel the difference in a 500 watt and a 750 watt motor. Almost 14, 13.8. PAS4, $18.5. All right, now I'm going to turn around so I can do PAS5. Now we're going to test the brakes for the first time. Yeah, these brakes are fine. They brake this bike just nice. This is a Fallel brake, and I'm used to it. And that was the first braking. I haven't bedded them in. They will get better as time goes on. But there we go. Now let's go in PAS5 and see what it does. And I haven't done anything to the display at all. I got to take this cover off. There we go. And in PAS5, maybe there's nothing to do. She is doing 25 miles an hour, 25.6, 25.7, 26, 26.5, and that's what she should do. All right, so now we're going to come down here, and we're going to see how she does down here. We're going to see how she does down here. So as we come down this, now this is a little bit of a downslope, so she should go a little faster coming down here. All right, now I'm going to pedal some, and I'm not ghost pedaling at 25 miles an hour. Not ghost pedaling at all. Fairly flat right now. 29, 30. I'm going to try to get 31. I did 30.9. And then I'll brake hard right here. Yeah, so the brakes are starting to bed in a little better. Yeah, it's not bad, guys. It's not a bad bike. I think this is one of those $1,000 bikes too. A lot of amperage in the battery, 750 watt motor, a lot of stuff for the price. A whole lot of bike for the price. I would say the handlebars are, in terms of how folding bike goes, about normal. I'm used to a little bit wider about here, but so what? Pretty good. I like it. All right, now we're gonna go PAS1, throttle only. I'm going uphill. Oh, I already did all that. All right, so let's just pedal, no, throttle only in PAS5 and see what she does. Yeah, so the only thing I did is I changed the brightness on the display up 1. It was set at 2, I set it to 3. And this is that kind of reverse display, which is really nice. I really like that because you see what it is. It's very easy. It's very bright, very easy to see, and I like it. Engwe, thank you. So, throttle only, no pedal. We're at 22.5. We'll go down to the end here and see. Now we're starting to go flat, so let's see what we're going to get. So throttle only, 24.4, 24.7. I think it's going to hit 25. There it is. It is a 25 mile an hour bike, throttle only. Took a little bit of time to get there, but it's there, 26. All right, now we'll brake hard. And the brakes are starting to bed, guys. The brakes are starting to fall in like they should. All right, so now let's go back and do a little bit more with it and see what we think. Yeah, I didn't change anything on the display to make me go faster. All I did was change the brightness a little bit. 1 notch, and I think it goes 5. Now at this speed, I got my throttle going, and I'm just kind of pedaling easily along. I'll take the throttle off. I'm still just pedaling easily along, but if I want to put it to it, there I go, and then it easily gets to higher speeds. So I don't need to do that. So yeah, the brakes are fairly good. They're starting to break in a little bit. This is a lot of bike for $1,000, or $10.99 if it's not on sale or something like that. I'll put it at the end what it costs, but it's a nice little bike. All right, we'll come off the curb. Pretty good. Didn't hurt anything. All right, now I'm going to take it by the stand camera, the camera that's watching us go by. I'm going to try to go by at about 25 miles an hour. Let's see what that looks like. Let's see how she goes. We're doing 21, 22, 6, 23. All right, now I'm going to try to squawk the brakes just to show you they can squawk or not. And they can. Takes a little more muscle on this one, on the Fallels, to do that. Whereas on the, let's see, the Gemi brakes and the Tektro brakes, a little less muscle. But I got bad hands and I can do it. So if I can do it, most people can do it. You don't have to brake like that anyway. All you're doing is rubbing stuff off your tires. All you do is brake like that and you're good. Yeah, and let's test some shifting here. Shift's good. No noise in the shifter. Nothing. Very nice. Very nice. Come around the corner here. And we will call that a wrap, guys. Nice bike, Engwe. Thank you for it. We'll get more videos out on this as time comes, so appreciate it. Appreciate you guys watching. All right, guys, that's the video for the day. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and subscribe below, and we'll see you on the next episode.